Werewolves on a Train? What's not to love about tonight's movie, David?
What?
Crack open a cold box of wine or pour something cold on ice because it's the Binge-Watchers podcast.
Wow, that sound. Dave didn't like that at all.
I loved it.
Dave pulled back away from the mic so hard.
Went right into my ear
Werewolf
holes.
movie month. What, Dave? What?
Said went right into my ear holes, deep in my
That's
soul.
where I belong. I live there. I'm joking around with my HOWLs. I got one approval and one diss. But we're recapping Werewolf Movie Month because we just literally watched like 6 werewolf movies or something ridiculous like that.
Mhm.
We'd love to watch them to the end of the year, so don't just review our werewolf movie podcast. Donate. No, just kidding. Like, give us your money, and we'll talk about werewolf movies until the end of time. With only 30 cents a day, Dave will continue to record podcasts about werewolf movies. Yeah. As I take a sip of a drink on air, thank you. Okay. To recap, we started with The Cursed. We hung out with some werewolves in an inn in Werewolves Within. We snapped our fingers at Ginger Snaps. We debated which Wolfman looked better. And for the finale, we visited a movie called HOWL. As I said in the beginning, werewolves on a train. What's not to like about a horror movie like that? We'll find out. We'll see magically if we agree with it or disagree with the setting of this movie. But I thought, let's take a second to talk about if Jordan was making a werewolf movie and David was making a werewolf movie and Johnny was making a werewolf movie, where would we stick our werewolves if we're talking about setting? So you can't use a train because they just did it. Jordan's pondering.
Hmm.
Now they're wondering who I'm going to ask first, like when I put Dave on the spot to respond to the beginning.
My immediate reaction was, I thought about it. I was like, wait, they actually did make a movie like that. I was going to say Washington, but there is actually like a movie.
The Werewolf in Washington? Yeah, from the 70s.
God. That's a tough one. Of course, I've never been asked this question. This is catching me off guard.
Spring Break.
That could be.
Wow, dude.
On Spring Break.
Wolfman Spring Break sounds like an amazing movie, actually. Trademark TM. You heard it here first, folks. David owns it. So if you steal it, you owe him money.
I'm a fan of that.
That's pretty good, right? Dang.
What about you, John? Where would your movie be?
Dude, I don't know if I can top Spring Break, but the two that I was prepared for this discussion, which is like kind of the benefit of the who writes the notes. Like I was like, oh, I'm going to ask them, where would you put your werewolf? And I'm like, I'll be prepared with my answers because I wrote the question. Either on a boat, so at sea, right? So it'd be a werewolf at sea, or
I was thinking like Titanic, but werewolves.
See, like, there's not enough room on this floating door, Jack, because you're a werewolf. You fucking drowned. Goodbye. Like, that's pretty good. Like, Dave, I thought we had a psychic connection, but me and Jordan, we're locked in.
Yeah.
On a boat, he says Titanic. Simpatico. Or I was thinking outer space, because in outer space, the moon is always full. You can't escape the werewolf if you're stuck on a space station or a spaceship. Like, you're screwed.
Yeah, that could be crazy. A whole population of werewolf people in space. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Wolfman Spring Break. That's the thing that would get approved at the studio. Because it's easy. Hey, we just did a teen movie last summer. Let's get the same guy who was just in that High School Musical. Let's stick him in this. He's a Wolfman now, and he's on Spring Break. Greenlit. $10 million budget makes $100 million at the box office. Then Dave gets an Oscar. Then he gets into a scandal. It's over, David.
Oh man. And just like that.
It was going to be a trilogy. Yeah, the scandal erupts during like the filming of part 2. Of course, it's like some kind of relationship troubles.
No, man.
No,
Nobody's safe. Even me.
Sex and a dead donkey. I mean, tell the truth, David. A bag of money, a dead animal, and some kind of sexual perversion cancels your movie. I did not think the discussion was going to go in that direction, Jordan, but it just went there, and I had to follow the improv. I'm sorry.
I'm like, take it easy on Dave.
Yeah, I'm getting the eyebrows of death. I need to clean up my act here. What's new in TV and movies? If we move over to our home video headlines, what I jotted down is the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is getting a reboot. So the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is like a famous comic book. It's by some of the same writers that did The Watchmen. I think it's what's his name? Alan Moore or something. Yeah, he's like a British comic writer. Pretty famous. Look him up if you like comics. He's a legend. Worked on all kinds of stuff. I think he did Swamp Thing. Did he do it? He did. I think he did a Swamp Thing book that's pretty infamous. But anyway, Watchmen is infamous enough. But so in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, it's like historical figures from books. Like Alan Quatermain from like some Treasure of the Sierra Madre is like their leader. But they have like Mina Harker, but in this version she's a vampire. They have like the Invisible Man.
I think Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, if I remember right.
Yeah, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde are kind of like their Incredible Hulk type character. So basically, it's like all these anti-heroes from like 1900 novels, right? Like, you know, they all come back and they work on. They're like a superhero team, like
X-Men. The Avengers.
Yeah, like the Avengers of literary novels from the 19th century or something, right? So, but the movie had Sean Connery, and he thought that was going to be like his Marvel franchise, but they only made one movie and it tanked. It flopped horribly because of a sex scandal involving a donkey and a bag of money and like. No, just kidding. I just wanted to like retie it into the joke.
Tying into I think one of Jordan's Savage screenings recently, she talked about Blade, which was directed by the same guy who did Extraordinary
Steve
Gentlemen.
Norrington.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the production of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was so bad that he quit directing altogether. He's like, I'm out. So
dang.
Very infamous.
I'm curious to watch it though, because it sounds like the storyline and premise of something that would be up my alley, but it must have been not.
It's pretty good because they include Captain is it Captain Nemo, the one who drives the Nautilus or whatever, like the magical boat? A submarine from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
I believe so.
Yeah, so it's actually a pretty cool movie. Like, they fight other literary characters. Am I stomping on what you were going to say, Dave?
No, I mean, I'll just agree to disagree. I mean, it's not a good movie. I don't even think I made it through it. I
love it even more now because I want to be the tiebreaker. Like I have to watch it so I can decide.
But I mean, having said that, I do think a reboot is going to be good because I always say instead of remaking or rebooting something that was good to begin with,
I'm going to write this down so don't forget, David. One of your stocking stuffers is going to be the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, great! I got to review that.
Other news. Mike Myers said he would do another Shrek, which I think that'd be pretty cool.
Sure. I'd watch it. Seen every other one in the theater.
Jordan's shirt has like Shrek green on it.
It is. It's Shrek color.
It is Shrek green. Yeah.
They're great movies. They're hilarious.
Did you watch his Pentaverate show at all, Jordan? Did you get into his Netflix
the new
show?
one on Netflix? No, but it looks really good.
Spoiler alert, there's a Shrek cameo. There's a Shrek cameo.
Didn't you talk about it a couple weeks back?
I don't know. Did I mention Shrek when we talked about it before?
No.
David?
I mean, between conversation between you and I, yeah.
So the cameo is like, it's like a performer at a theme park in a giant Shrek costume. But then the inside joke is it's really Shrek inside, the theme park costume, right? Because he's doing the real Shrek voice from inside. I'd watch it because actually Shrek 4 was good. 3 sucked, 2 is okay. 1's really good. But the time travel stuff in part 4 or whatever is cool. Or like it's wishing. It's not time travel, but it's like wishing changes Like what happens to Shrek and
It's
Fiona.
like a Christmas Story situation.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Wonderful Life or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful Life. Little baby.
But talking about magic, Spirit of Halloween wants to be a movie now. Apparently, instead of just a store of Halloween franchises, like so. I don't know how to take this. I don't know if it's going to be a serious horror movie or if it's going to be like cashing in on like Hocus Pocus 2, like trying to ride the coattails of a movie like that and be like family friendly. I know Christopher Lloyd is playing the main ghost or the villain. It's hard to say, but he's the guy that supposedly founded the Spirit of Halloween stores. And then there's a cursed store where the costumes come to life and that affects the main characters. And then he shows up. I don't know.
Did they say who's producing it?
No, why would that? Oh, to indicate whether it's going to be a children's movie or
hearing Christopher Lloyd instantly makes me think kids. It makes me think of like Disney Channel in the 2000s kind of a movie. You know what? I'm of the mind in the world where the Lego movie exists and works. Try it. Whatever. Try it out.
That's what I'm
I'll watch a Halloween store movie.
I mean, and I love that like the whole Pirates franchise is essentially like off of a ride, right? So you could totally make a movie about a store.
Yeah, and because of Pirates of the Caribbean, that's how we get to like wait, was Pirates first or was Jumanji first?
Jumanji was first, but Jumanji was its own thing. It didn't.
Yeah, I know it's a made up game. It's a made up game, and now it's a game now, maybe, but
yeah.
I mean, you could have looked at something like Jumanji and be like, wait, we have real games. Let's turn them into movies. And then then you get Pirates of the Caribbean. And then you get Battleship, David. Battleship.
We're supposed to have a Candyland movie with Adam Sandler at some point.
That's
not even a joke.
Wait, you said Candyland?
I don't know if it's still in production, but there was a news story that there was going to be a Candyland movie with Adam Sandler.
With Adam Sandler, huh?
Yeah.
I know who's probably going to get it now, but I don't want to say his name because I don't want to talk about him.
Okay.
Well, what's the rule? If we bring it up, we have to talk about it? That might be how it works, right? It is an audio story where you have to use your vocals to say things. It's becoming like an anti-podcast. I don't want to talk about it.
With ASMR of podcasts, we'll have like lulling moments.
Oh, man. Tonight's movie is HOWL. Speaking of having to speak, you actually have to make noise. It's a monster noise, I guess. It's not the poem by this famous poem guy.
Allen Ginsberg, I think.
Something like that.
They actually made a movie of that, which...
Yeah, it's confusing.
But the right one.
There's like HOWL. There's like 4 different HOWL movies. So yeah, you got to make sure you're watching the one about werewolves.
It's the same for all of our werewolf movies, almost.
Yeah.
So you gotta make sure you're watching the right one that we're talking about.
I was waiting for Jordan to say, like, my favorite bit is when James Franco.
I'm like, wrong one. Whoops.
acts like a poet and then gets himself in his own sex scandal, David?
He was.
I guess.
Franco's out.
Yeah.
He'll make movies again. You know, everything blows over eventually.
He made enough movies for like 3 lifetimes before he was outed or whatever. So he's already got quite the filmography legacy.
This movie is about passengers on a train that get attacked by a creature. They must band together in order to survive until morning. What's funny about like the IMDb and Amazon and like everywhere online, you know, the synopsis doesn't tell you that it's a werewolf, but clearly it's a werewolf on the poster. And if you don't see a werewolf face on the poster, the other alternative poster is a full moon above the train. I mean, like, you could put it together that you're going to watch a werewolf movie. So for the synopsis, not to flat out tell you, it's like, what are you trying to hide? Your poster gave it away anyway.
Right, like that would be spoiling it.
Yeah.
No.
It's like they really, really tried to fool people into thinking it was anything but a werewolf movie, except for the title, the poster, everything giving it away.
Right.
Yeah. It's like Toy Story saying there's no toys in this movie. It's just called Toy Story. Really about Wall Street bankers. Wow. That actually would be a good movie, David. That's
If
like your
Pixar
Wolfman.
does it. It could be worse.
David, what's your next hit after your Wolfman Spring Break? You're like, well, I want to do this thing about Wall Street and the kind of toys that they play with, and I'm gonna call it Toy Story, and I don't care that was already a movie. Bam, $100 million at the box office.
Well, if it's on Wall Street, it'll probably be like, they want to animate something or turn something human-like. So it'll probably be briefcases because everybody carries a briefcase on Wall Street. So it'll just be called Briefs.
Dang.
I like it.
I don't know what Dave's spitting out. He's spitting fire today.
Call me Pixar.
He must have ate his Wheaties today. Okay. We're down like 3 energy drinks before we got here.
Just
I
one.
could have used one of those.
Have you guys run out of your case already?
I
Is
did.
it empty?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's called I Have a Wife and she takes half of everything.
That's in the contract. You better look at those details. Half.
I have to start developing taste for things she doesn't like, so at least she doesn't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do with my kids and chip flavors. I get the weird anonymous like spicy whatever chip. Nope, can't handle it.
Definitely don't have that problem.
I feel
Just
like
gotta
we
keep
need an
the cats.
exclusive. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding. I'm like, it's like just have 2 kitty cats, so it's not like I have to fight off my
Oh,
kids
they'll
or a
eat.
significant-
They will eat your chips if they get a hold of them. Tell you what.
You're right.
Dude,
One
my
of them
cat
would.
tries to eat cereal out of my bowl as I'm eating it. I'm not
The
even.
milk, I get it though. Like if I was a cat, I would do that too.
This has nothing to do with tonight's movie, but I'm curious because both David and Jordan own cats. Do you guys share milk with them right out of your bowl on
Oh, yeah.
purpose?
Yes.
I do not.
Ice cream, I'm definitely sharing.
That's Jordan's scandal when it comes out after she produces her famous movies, and they're like, Wolfman Spring Break 2, directed by Jordan's at the box office. We heard you like to share milk right out of the bowl with felines.
Guilty.
Care to comment? You're like, guilty. All right, let's see if we can keep this train on the tracks, even though the train goes off the tracks in the movie. It has a train wreck. Dave, it's up to you, man. We'll keep talking until you actually move on to your dangerous detail.
If we're ready, I got some facts.
We were ready before we started talking about cat bowls and licking and milk.
No, I felt that was pretty pertinent to the story, to what we're talking about.
I enjoyed my imagination of you guys like just peering over a bowl, licking milk with your cats. Entertain me.
Nuzzle noses,
If we had an animation budget, that's when the animator would have like an animated version of like what we're describing. But no, folks, just stare at our faces this entire time.
Maybe we have a really talented fan. Maybe that could win you a prize if you want to animate us. Sure, why not?
David, I don't know if you want your fans to start sending you drawings of yourself.
That's probably a good point.
So funny.
Okay, we got some facts. So despite this movie being a gruesome horror movie, the writers Mark Huckerby and Nick Oster are actually more known for writing kids' TV show. Some of their credits include Thomas and Friends, the Danger Mouse reboot that I didn't know existed till today, and The Adventures of Paddington. So it's kind of funny that they wrote this werewolf horror movie as well.
Okay, pause. Hold on your second thought. 2 comments. First, Thomas the Train is a show about kids and trains, right?
Yeah.
So you can see how their frustration of working on a kid show about trains could evolve into a werewolf movie where people are getting torn apart on a train. Second thought
Checks
is,
out.
checks out. Totally.
Yeah.
What was the last part you just said? Now I forgot what?
About them writing Paddington or The Adventures of Paddington cartoon.
Oh, no, you said you didn't know the existence of a second Danger Mouse. It's on, it's on Netflix.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
That shows how much the algorithm is working for me. Okay.
Why? It suggested you every other shitty cartoon on Netflix but the Danger Mouse remake?
Apparently, because I didn't know it existed, which makes me kind of mad now. Maybe it's not good. I don't know.
No.
All right. Well, then maybe it's good that I didn't know. Actor Nick Pertwee has a tendency to actually have his guts ripped out.
Why are you calling him Nick? His name is Sean.
I thought it was... Are we sure about that? Oh, okay. Well, maybe I wrote it down wrong. Sean Pertwee has a tendency to have his guts ripped out in movies. In addition to this movie, he had his guts ripped open by another werewolf and Dog Soldiers. and was strung up and had his guts eaten by cannibals in Doomsday. So, for whatever reason,
that's what's funny. Like, talk about being typecast. You're gonna play a sergeant, and we're gonna rip your guts out of you.
That's like another from RoboCop. He has like 3 or 4 movies where his arm gets ripped off. It's just like a weird coincidence. And so the werewolves in this movie were actually a combination of practical and CGI. The legs were CGI, and the rest of the body were prosthetics and performers. Although I think I've seen a few parts that were full CGI, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. The director Peter Hyatt actually got his start doing makeup and practical effects, so it's no surprise he did a werewolf movie. Some of his makeup credits include The Descent, Doomsday, and The Woman in Black. And here's a catch that John caught that I did not. Turns out there is an appearance by Brett Goldstein, who everybody knows right now as Roy Kent from one of John and my favorite shows, Ted Lasso.
Yeah, he's in one scene. He plays a supervisor who assigns this unlucky dude to be the conductor on this train. Like, so my understanding of the beginning of this movie is the main character Joe is not originally assigned to this shift or this train, but he's like the, lucky guy or whatever, like lowest rung on the totem pole, the ranking or whatever. And the supervisor is played by the guy that will end up being Roy Kent on Ted Lasso. And I was like, oh, that looks like the dude. Oh, that is the dude. Yeah. Trivia, folks. And now, are you done? Is that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Right. Not to be pushy. All right.
That's when I shut up. You asked me to shut up.
We'll be right back after this message. Are you ready to launch your new career in coding? Treehouse has one of the best and most affordable online classrooms for you. At Treehouse, we've rethought the learning process and built a proven system to get you the skills and knowledge you need to achieve your goals. When you're done with the course, you haven't just watched a video. You've learned, practiced, and absorbed a concept. Or choose to build a portfolio, create a network, and land your dream job with our bootcamp-style Techdegree program. Land a dev job this year. Whatever your goal, we'll get you there. Get 50% off your first month as a podcast listener through our special discount link. teamtreehouse.com/signup_code/podcorn courses. That's teamtreehouse.com/signup_code/podcorn courses. And of course, that special discount link can be found in our show notes. Back to the podcast already in progress. And we've arrived at everybody's favorite part of the show. What are our favorite bits from tonight's movie?
The bits. Oh man, my favorite bit. I don't know. Some of my favorite bits, just the werewolves in general. That was like the most far-fetched werewolf I think that we've seen in terms of like behaviors in the movie. But yeah, there was just a lot of gore too, and I thought that was like one of the best parts of the movie was just like how gory it was when there was an attack. Starting off with that little old lady's leg getting severed. I just was like, that was pretty vivid with her leg just like oozing all over the place. But I guess it wasn't severed completely. But
if you're gonna have wounds, make sure they're oozing.
It was oozy. It was, yeah. So in the train, just when they're going to fix the train and the guy's crawling underneath, I thought it was kind of funny that like this whole thing is actually just fixed by a little bit of duct tape shimming underneath the train. I think that's hilarious. Yeah. But, yeah. So some of those bits right there. What about you, Dave?
In addition to the lady's leg getting slashed, I kind of like the the woman that just gets pulled through a window out of nowhere, kind of like Samuel Jackson in
the influencer, the social media girl, the girl that's on her cell phone the whole time. That one,
yeah, just gets pulled right through a window out of nowhere. Just watching this late at night, go what? Perked me up because I didn't expect that at all. Got some decent kills in this movie.
Yeah.
What about you, John?
Well, okay, so it's hard to do something new with werewolf movies like we've been talking about, but we got excited at the beginning of this show because Werewolves on a Train is a cool concept. The only other movies that it's like, they have snakes on a plane, and they got Train to Busan, which is literally a train filled with zombies. But other than that, like, it's kind of cool to isolate the setting on a train, right? Because, first of all, being isolated, broken down in the middle of nowhere, is already scary. Then you add a werewolf, and then you also add, like, the hysteria of the people you're dealing with. Like, it's one thing to have to deal with the creature, but they have to deal with the egos and personalities and like mistakes made by the people on the train, which could actually get you killed, is kind of interesting. Then the creature design. The werewolves have fangs, and they have elongated ears, and they have dog-like legs so they can prance around, but they don't have a lot of hair. It's more like skin and flesh that's all like stretched out and like just like really disgusting, transmogrified somehow. It's like if your bones were on the outside almost. It's like very like, I don't know.
It's kind of a cross between two movies we covered this run. It's kind of like a mix between the werewolf of Ginger Snaps and Dog Soldiers. You know, standing on their hind legs. The Ginger Snaps ones were mostly hairless. So
I like all that. I do like when people are first starting to figure things out in a horror movie where they try to work together a little bit, like how they're trying to like board up the windows and like isolate the one train car. I just like that element because like you kind of root for people when they do that in horror movies. Gosh, it would be nice if they win one day, but I know that they're like, that's part of the fun of it, or like the psychology of it maybe, like, because you know that they're going to put all this hard work into it and somehow it's still going to like fall apart. Mm-hmm. And they're going to all get killed, or most of them are going to get killed, but they, you know, it doesn't always happen. You don't always have like a group of people in a movie, you know, working together to try to kill a monster. But sometimes you get lucky. It's a safe bet that we all like the movie. I haven't heard any disagreement so far. We'll go into our rating system. Binge now, binge later, or binge never.
Okay. It was a binge later for me. I didn't say anything bad yet, but I just thought like the sounds.
See what she's doing, Dave. Wait, time out. Hold it. I'm not going to try to ruin all your fun. See what she's doing to us, Dave?
No.
She's poker with us now. She's going to poker face us till we get into the ratings. Yep. Then she's going to hit us with it.
Well, it's called favorite bits, not least favorite bits. Okay.
Sure.
So yeah. So I just saw it like the werewolves being up in the trees. I thought that was kind of a little funny. You know, they were just in all angles, man. They were in the trees and they sounded like little goblins. They were like more of a not werewolf to me. So that's just.
Okay. So you're saying your binge later is based on the fact that they're not werewolf enough.
Yes. That's it. Nailed it.
You were promised werewolves and you got creatures. Maybe that's why in the timeline it said creatures and not werewolves specifically, because they're like, do you think they went to the screening? They had like the test screenings, Jordan, and like they're like, not a werewolf. What the F? Like promised a werewolf, like they turn in those scorecards and they're not getting 10s, they're getting like 3s because it's not werewolf enough.
That could be it. It's why they don't mention it. Yeah.
Dave, reshoots, David?
I didn't say anything about reshoots. So I guess this was the full vision on the screen.
That was your opportunity to pretend to be the filmmaker the whole time. We've been running this whole running gag of this whole episode was that Dave was producing all these shows, and you could just been like, "Oh, we had reshoots. They cost us $1 billion." I need to send Dave to like improv class at like Upright Citizen Brigade or something. Just go. Right. It's called Go Along With. This is a new game.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yes, and.
What about you, Dave?
I'm with you, Jordan. It's a binge later. I get, you know what? I think I learned over the course of this series of werewolf movies. It's like John likes to say. It's kind of like pizza. Like
it's like pizza.
Even the mediocre ones, at least it's still pizza. And this was pizza. It was okay. The Little Caesars gets the job done. But it's not going to be a werewolf movie. I go back to. I mean, like
Little Caesars. If you're out there, at least 2 of us love you. Feel free to sponsor our show and give us pizza.
I actually like Little Caesars, but they broke my heart because now there's not one in the area. It went away.
Rude of them to do that. John, what'd you do?
Yeah.
What for your rating?
Binge now. Like, this was on Amazon Prime the first time I saw it. That was like a couple years ago. Folks, if you want to see it now, I actually found out FilmRise must own the part of the distribution to it because they put it on their FilmRise channels and then they dropped it on their YouTube channel. So now it's completely free and just like kick over to YouTube. Or if you like Shudder and you want to watch a bunch of horror movies, as it turns out, our code still works, by the way. Shudder sponsored us a couple summers ago. If you're out there, Shudder, clearly people love us because they're still using our code. And you haven't turned it off yet. So Binge-Watchers is the promo code if you want to watch Shudder for like a month for free or whatever. But they also have it. That was like an anti-ad. I'm not going to tell the people where they can watch horror movies, Shudder, because you're not sponsoring us. But by the way, our code still works.
Got you good.
That's where I watched it.
Got you. Actually, they got a free ad the whole time.
Hey, they're getting my money every year, so that's their whole plan. They just want one binge watcher. I guess
they just want to keep David watching. Wait, did we hear your rating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later. Then you just had your rating.
Could you agree with the pizza analogy? Okay.
I
was telling you mine. I'm really botching this one. It's a binge now for me, yeah, because like I saw it on Amazon Prime. I rushed to Facebook. It was like 2:00 in the morning. I was drinking coffee of all things. And I was like, guys, there's this movie, blah, 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 blah. And that might have been like one of my first posts on Instagram too. Like when I created my account, I was just like, hey, I watched this werewolf movie. And I thought ingenious. I thought that's, if I talk to myself, when I saw it, like, so I'm just going to forget what Jordan said.
Just
about
the werewolves a little more authentic, and it would have been perfect.
Authentic werewolf. I wrote it down. Most far-fetched werewolf. If I put that in the title, that'd be like, wow.
If it had Samuel L. Jackson yelling, "Get these mother effing werewolves off this mother effing train," might have.
I actually thought if they had changed the title to "Werewolves on a Train," the movie would be more popular. Like right off the bat, like, because what is HOWL?
Werewolf Express.
The first thing I think of is the poem. That's like the first thing that comes to mind.
And how much did they howl? Not a whole lot. They heckled, but they did. They did not howl. I'm just saying.
They sounded like cats, actually.
They were like very much hyena, which I'm like, okay, maybe sort of dog, but
they're like, hey.
You're right. So they're suggestive of being a werewolf. They're suggesting that they're werewolves. Is that what it is?
Something like that.
Maybe they can't improv either.
Probably not.
If you watch something outside of watching werewolf movies, what did you watch?
I do have a shame screening for you guys for this week. Saturday Night Fever.
Nice.
I love Saturday Night Fever, but I love Staying Alive even more than Saturday Night Fever. Do you know of Staying Alive?
I think you're on the island on your own there, but explain what Staying Alive is.
If you already know, why are you questioning it, David?
Because she doesn't know.
Okay, so somebody sees Tony dancing, and then they want to recruit him for this Broadway show, and then he's developing this hotter than ice Broadway thing where it's like hot as hell because they're pulling in these angels and devil themes, and then like it's will they, won't they? Is he going to hook up with the choreographer or not? Maybe. And she's like British or something, so she's definitely like across the pond trying to snag our. Where's he from? Brooklyn? Is his neighborhood in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, these details are coming ingrained out of like my frontal lobe. You know what I mean? I'm like, because I was like, I didn't remember that his name was Tony, but his name is Tony, right?
Yep. Tony Manero. Yep.
So I know his name is Tony. I know he bought pizza at Lenny's, and I know that he's from Brooklyn. And
I will watch it.
When you could use gay as a verb and not make people angry, but I guess maybe it always made people angry if like you're like, what's the gayest John Travolta movie? Or what's the movie that will make you question your sexuality and you go to these other nightclubs to see if you could fulfill your dreams? It'd be watching Staying Alive.
Or Perfect.
Or Urban Cowboy. What a dream. crack open a Coors Light, and watch Urban Cowboy. No, this isn't the episode where we talk about everybody's sexuality. We're just talking about 3 amazing John Travolta movies.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable in my sexuality, but there's a lot of like Travolta junk in that trio. Actually, I haven't seen Urban Cowboy, so I can't speak.
You mean his literal junk?
Actually, I mean stuff like front and center.
The best look at his junk
there's
actually in a movie.
There's a famous GIF from Perfect of him like just gyrating.
Well, actually, we hijacked her stat pick of the week,
no,
but it's worth
great.
it.
I love this.
John Travolta's junk is best seen in this movie where he's doing aerobics with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
We have a whole month coming up on Binge-Watchers podcast called
That's
John
all Travolta. Hold on, I'm getting hot flashes.
So, John Travolta
Speed
coming up.
Sexy Travolta. Oh, man.
Travolta on a train.
And then I did watch another train movie. It was The Girl on a Train. Good thriller. I liked it.
With Emily Blunt?
Yeah.
Which is a remake. You got to find the other one.
I'll have to go watch the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a remake.
I thought it was based on, maybe.
It's a book, right? A novel.
Anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
but yeah.
So maybe they went around the other movie and just read to the source material. Who knows? Where are we? Oh, so we
guess that'd be me.
Oh, do you have something?
Dave,
yeah, I thought I don't know if you're going to talk about it, but I'm
John Travolta's junk. There's no possible way you could follow up Travolta. Can you? Do you know how to disco dance, Dave?
Do I? I mean, not really. I mean, I could try. I don't know if it's going to be a pretty sight. Although I might look good in that white jumpsuit. I don't know. Give it a shot. I don't know. I don't know if you were going to talk about this, but somebody has to.
What am I going to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry, but so Chippendale Rescue Rangers, like literally the second best movie I've seen all this year, next to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, some of it's member berries. I mean, yeah, a lot of it's just cartoon nostalgia, but I mean, it's easily the new Roger Rabbit. I mean, they stuff a ton, and I'm surprised at what they got away with in terms of other cartoon references. Like I've seen South Park was in there, Beavis and Butthead. I saw a character in the background from Big Mouth.
Ugly Sonic before they changed his character design.
Yeah, but I mean, there's tons of stuff in here. I mean, it's like it's an Easter egg hunt of a movie too. I mean, if you want to go that far,
there's tons of stuff in this episode. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm gonna have to get show notes from Jordan on this one.
But I don't know if you're an 80s or 90s kid, hell, even a 2000s kid. I think I watched Chippendale Rescue Rangers on Disney Plus. Probably the funnest movie I've seen in a while.
Well, you had me sold at newest Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because Who Framed Roger Rabbit might be one of my all-time favorite movies, probably top 5, just because I watched it on repeat as a child, and so I'll definitely be going to see that, Dave.
All right. Disney Plus.
You just went up a cool point for saying Roger Rabbit rules.
Oh, it's so good. Is it on Disney Plus?
Yeah, it is. It just came out on Disney Plus. Yeah,
I would have been just as happy to see it in a theater, but you get to see it at home.
Heck yeah!
Right.
I'm gonna skip over staff pick because I want to take a couple minutes here at the end of the show to let people know that Summer Slash is back. It's starting again. We're about to do deep dives into slasher, maniac, crazy horror rides into all these horror movies. So keep in mind the hashtag Summer Slash. And if you've been through this before, we give away horror movies. This year, we're going to give away the Evil Dead Groovy Collection, which is the original Evil Deads on 4K. We're also going to give away, Dave mentioned it earlier, he talked about Blade. We're going to give away Blade 4K came out. We'll give that away.
Ooh, nice.
And then maybe some Voodoo gift cards. But basically, there's 2 ways to get this. You email us your favorite horror movie or something about your favorite horror movies, or if you're actually watching what we're reviewing, let us know your opinion on those movies. And then you can also give us a podcast review. What do we like to do, Jordan?
Review.
Usually says it 3 times, but whatever. Okay.
And where should we send those emails?
Oh, well, host@bwpodcast.com is the podcast email. Or give us a review like Jordan asked you, and in a little sing-song voice that she does. And if you give us a review, You could actually mention your favorite horror movie or make a horror movie comment inside the review. You could say, I like this podcast. My favorite movie is The Fog. 5 stars. We'll take it, and we'll send you Blade or Evil Dead or something.
How about instead of a horror review, a horror haiku?
That takes a lot of work, Dave. You going to punch in those characters on your phone?
What, 575 syllables? Come on.
All right, Dave wants poems from you guys. Go ahead and submit those to David directly. So Summer/4s are on the corner. It's horror movies. I used to say all summer long because it used to run all summer long. But actually, folks, we're only giving you a taste this year. So Summer/4 is going to come at you hot and heavy, fast and furious. John Travolta is actually in a horror movie, by the way.
Yes.
It might be one of the worst horror movies ever made.
Which one?
But the one that the Limp Bizkit guy made. I think it's called
The Fanatic.
Oh, Fanatic. Yeah, okay. Anyway, stay tuned, folks. It's SummerSlash next week. We're going to kick it off. It's going to be awesome. Will we survive? I don't know. We've already lost 2 co-hosts. That's where the creepy music would play, but I don't have any creepy music queued up. I do have. What do I have queued up? I might have something crazy. Into Space. Let's see if that's crazy. No, that's more of like a... It's not the kind of vibe I thought it was going to have. I'm goofing around with these studio effects, folks. StreamYard has this thing where they have some pre-recorded crap. Anyway. Dave, what kind of marathon is starting?
The SummerSlash.
If Dave remembered, you can too, folks. See you next week. This episode is dedicated to Jordan and her viewing of John Travolta movies because the John Travolta comics and storylines are killing it. And just remember, folks, this is for entertainment purposes only. If you want to ask me questions about my sexuality, send those messages directly to David as well.
Yeah, I think if we do the theme month, it has to be a Bolta Travolta. I don't know.
I like it.
What?
A Bolta Travolta instead of a Bolt of I don't know.
Didn't he play the animated dog named Bolt?
Oh yeah, I guess he did.
Wow. It's coming up all Travolta tonight.